first in the series of New Age Business Briefings brought to you by the SABC, and today very kindly sponsored by ESCOM 49M. Yes, indeed, please switch off all the lights that you don't need and use. Conserve, conserve, conserve. And we heard from the acting chairperson also, I know you're paying your cell phone bills and buying drinks, pay for your electricity as well. It was a message that came through loud and clear. Right, so we're talking Youth Month, youth policies, youth issues. We're taking your tweets as also questions from the floor as we go to table number 7, and where we'll see Advocate Makompo.
Good day to the panel. Mine is a suggestion that since we want to create a lot of jobs, the Department of Public Works has a program called EPWP. How will it be if we take the beneficiaries of that particular program and employ them permanently in the department and use those particular graduates of that program as workforce for all infrastructural development in our country? Because Public Works is a custodian of infrastructure development in the country. And stop giving people tenders and they then employ these young people that the government have trained and instead continue to exploit them. That is the suggestion that I want to put forth. Thanks.
Okay. Fully agreed. Fully agreed.
There you go.
And I mean, the intention is to have an intensified public works program, through extended public works program, through community works program. If you cut out the middleman, which is your business people who tender and get these jobs, you'll actually add more value in terms of the wages that young people get, but you'll also create more work. So we fully agree with that proposal.
All right, so Sina Ramusipele says, how do you address the poor service from those in the offices and, the way they write DA offices and can't DA youth age boundary be changed from 35 to 39?
Okay. When? I guess, if there are service delivery problems, public offices, I guess the youth should call the presidency. But there's the presidential hotline, and there's been huge responses to, problems around public services. We do unannounced and announced visits. If you tell me a police station somewhere is not doing this or that, call the presidency hotline, log in a complaint, and we will attend to it. And we have attended to many of those, in fact, all of those complaints. And there is about, I think there was about 75% or so satisfaction by people who called that hotline.
And this age thing, I know you can be youth league president at 39.
That's why I asked when they were. But the issue is, and we had a long debate around, whether should we keep the age at 14 to 30 to 35, because there are certain things that happens, before the age of 14, and which the youth policy should cover, and some of the things that happens above the age of 35 with, the problems around unemployment. For instance, young people remain dependent on either the state or their parents, their siblings for a very long time, and therefore, the issue of age is actually, its definition should be based on some social analysis. But our analysis was that it is more the young people between the ages of 14 and 35 who would be who would benefit more around the interventions. I mean, for instance, there's a big question about why do we define, why do we include 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds as part of the unemployment rate? In fact, if you exclude that, 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-olds who should be in school or in FET colleges, the unemployment rate in our country would drastically decline. But then the issue is about who's economically active and what is an economic activity.
All right, okay. We've also got another artist in the audience, table number 12. Those of you who know Skumbuzo, Isidingo, where are you? We'd like to ask you, you also represent the youth of this country, and a lot of people look up to you. As you move around and as you travel this journey of being a young person in South Africa, what are your observations and maybe even advice?
Well, thank you very much. Well, for me, really, when I travel around, with my peers, whether we go to the rural areas, the main thing that I see is that young people don't know themselves, And now you see that on television, that seems to be the only form of medium that people get to see who they are. But now, when young people say that the problems that they face, teenage pregnancy, substance abuse, and yet when you watch TV, that's exactly what you see. So sometimes it seems as though young people it's a catch-22. You're being told one thing, and yet you are expected to behave in another way. So I think more than anything, we need more examples on television. We need more examples. I see Simpiwe down over there, and she's such an inspiration to me as well. So I really think that we need to see more positive examples on our television, on our radio, and things like that.
Whilst you've still got the microphone, I want you to go back to your matric class and just look around your class right now. And a lot of them didn't get through. They didn't make it. And I'm just wondering, what is it that you did maybe that could help them, the kids that are matriculating now? What steps should they take? What's the journey that they should take so that they can, embrace some of these opportunities and these chances that are out there? Because it is possible, but somehow people are getting left behind.
Yeah, it is. And I think more than anything, you need to find out what your purpose is in life. If you know who you are, then you'll find your purpose, as opposed to you wanting to be like somebody else. For me, for example, what helped me was my parents, really. Because I was encouraged and I was told to do anything. I was told that I could be anything that I could be. And so I followed that motto and I followed it through. So much so that I went to university, but I didn't really do what I studied for in university. Instead, I followed my passion, which was entertainment, which was acting. So more than anything, I think young people should really take a good look at themselves, and ask themselves those relevant questions as to who am I? What contribution do I want to make into the world, and what do I want to be remembered by? We have a lot of examples, with our leaders who took necessary steps, to make sure that they were remembered for something that is beyond just you going to school and just having a job. But there's a purpose. You're giving something back. What is it that you can offer? What is it that makes you unique, that you can offer to your community?
All right, thank you very much indeed. And so, parents, you've mentioned support, encouragement coming through quite strongly. You talk about, give us we don't want to hand out, we want to hand up. Do you want to just take that theme a bit forward? And I want Asipur to comment as well.
Look, we sometimes tend to treat or regard young people as victims. And I think the experiences that we, gathered from the engagements that we've had is that young people are saying, look, we're not saying put us on the queue for social grants. We're not saying give us freebies. But what we're saying is that the role of government, and that's what this policy seeks to address, should be to facilitate opportunities that will give us a hand up, that will enable us to be able to take advantage of all of those possibilities. Simple earlier spoke about the power of youth, and that we need to empower youth, that we're not a powerless section of our society. I think what Skhumbuzo was saying just now, I was talking about what I refer to as the Kim Kardashian economy, where all you do is to leave and your life gets filmed and then you make money out of it. But that's not what we want, but that's what's projected on a daily basis in media. We see, hip-hop artists, talking about how, they enjoy alcohol and drugs and all of that. Now, that's not the images that we want to be, recreating in our society. And I think that's a very, powerful point, that if we are to, give young people that hand up for them to take advantage of the, the democratic dispensation, we also have to ensure that the different sections of our society act responsibly. We can't be repeating these images that we don't want our young people to be.
Right. Very brief comment, Simpiwe, and I think, it's all very well for us to say, find your passion, go and do for yourself, but, they're young people, and sometimes they just don't know what to do. How do we help a young person like that?
Peter, a few years back, I did the Black Education Tour, and I called it Black Education because it was mainly the Black community that was affected by apartheid, and I wanted to check the schooling systems and also the communities within which our children are living. And what I found is that Skhumbuzo is right, that we need more positive role models, because what you find in these communities is that the parents are not there. There are many child-led households, and there are many households where it's the grandparents who are raising these children. And so they're increasingly running amok. They cannot be contained, and there are no positive role models. And our media spaces don't help either, like he was saying. I feel like we also are too international without being more insular and dealing with our own local issues, And I feel if we could increase local content and tell local stories and expand on our local cultures and basically infuse Black identity into our people across the board, that would help a lot in empowering the young people and even our societies. I mean, we have very broken societies because of our past, extremely broken. And we can't go and mother these children ourselves. So we have to create a mothering environment wherever there's brokenness.
All right, okay. Do you know, we get, when we watch TV, we know our characters by their character names. Skhumbuzo is his character name on Nisidingo, but he's Sisa Hiwana. So let's remember his real name as well. And then when you see him, you just say, Usku. But Sisa, thank you very much for your comments. We're going to take a final break, and when we come back, we'll start wrapping up our conversation, getting our final tweets and final questions from the floor.